And we are live. Welcome back, guys, to Nerdsters of the Universe. I'm Kerwin.
I'm Pizza.
Robert Pizza over there. Today's going to be a short one. Work ran a little late, so we got started a little late. All right, Robert. I know the answer to this. Friday, series premiere, Falcon Winter Soldier. What are your thoughts?
I did not watch it yet. It's been a rough weekend for me and work stuff around the house, things here and there. It's the one I missed. I focused more this weekend on the Snyder cut of Justice League. That's the one. I'm kind of glad Queen's not here today because I know she'd be giving me the tisk look, I think.
Okay, guys, your notice to go live didn't go up. Just to let you know.
We did, I saw the notice said we were going live and 30 minutes came up.
No, I didn't get a notice.
I did.
Okay. Just to let you know.
Our notifications aren't working? Are our notifications not working?
I
don't know. I got it. Oh, I see you got a little friend there with you.
Oh, yeah, Callie. She jumped in my lap.
Oh, kitty time.
Yeah, I wanted to watch Falcon and Winter Soldier every time I sat down to try to do something. This weekend, if I sat down for more than 5 minutes, I was on the couch with everything else.
I was so tired after work yesterday. I got home, did some stuff, and then I got crashly into Spartacus. So I watched an episode of Spartacus, and then I was out, and I ended up oversleeping for work today. So part of why it was a late day. I showed up late, so
every time I try to do anything, I was up late the last few nights. Today, the landlord's son is banging on the door like 7:30, 8 o'clock this morning. He wants to check smoke alarms, and they're redoing the back of the house. They're repainting the outside of the back of the house because it's like concrete or something like that, or plaster or something. So they're redoing it. So I'm like, oh, good. Every time I get to probably sleep in. But yeah, I almost wanted to turn in my nerd card that it's been this long and I haven't watched Falcon and Winter Soldier yet.
Oh, it's okay.
Is it?
We did stay up all night to watch the Zack Snyder cut.
Yeah. Well, he was up. We watched it the same day. We watched I think you were about 15, 20 minutes ahead of me when we watched it.
Yeah, I wasn't that far ahead of you. So I got a question for you. Mm-hmm. All right. And this is for everyone in chat too. Replay, post your comments down below. I had a question for you here. I was just sharing the stream to the Facebook page. If I'm out bar hopping with my buds, right? Mm-hmm. We're out bar hopping. We hit up tons of bars, we're being safe but inebriated, so we don't remember everywhere we went. But I go to this one bar, and they've got the perfect drink. Can't remember the name of it. But I know it's like that bar's specialty drink. But I can't remember which bar had it. All I know is that that's the bar that I lost my cell phone in.
Oh, geez.
It was the last bar of the night. That's the one I lost my cell phone in, right? So if I then use my, locate my phone, follow the GPS to it, and I go to that bar and I grab my phone, would it be logical for me to be complete and totally surprised and what the hell if I find out that that's the bar that has that special drink? Or should I know that because I lost my cell phone in the bar that had the awesome drink, that logic would dictate that the drink's the same, that bar has the drink because my cell phone's there?
Must have been a pretty good drink then.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm just saying. Does that make sense?
Little bit. I think the universe wanted you to know to make sure you knew what bar that was.
It's a hypothetical.
Yeah.
It isn't exactly this. This isn't something that happened to me. It's a hypothetical. If I lost my cell phone in the bar that had the perfect drink,
Yeah.
but I couldn't remember which bar it was, when I find out where my cell phone's at, should I be complete and totally surprised when I find out that that's the same bar that has the perfect drink?
Maybe a little.
Should I be surprised or should I expect that, hey, now I know where that drink's at?
I would be kind of both. I'd be like, oh, cool. Wait, here it is. Great. This is awesome. Now I know. You know what I mean? You found it. You went back. Oh. Hi, Deborah. How are you? Deborah's in chat tonight with us.
So what that is, Rob, is that's an analogy. Hey, Deborah. That's an analogy that I have for Snyder Cut.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
I'm just saying.
I know. We talked about this for a little bit, and
yes, we did. It got late, but we did.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it. I did like it. Granted, is it the best DC movie I've seen yet? No, I'm still saying that's the first Wonder Woman. I think is still top on my list of the new DC movies. I'll always be a Donner Superman guy from Christopher Reeve back. I just think they did it a little better. Like, I was a little upset they took out some of the one-liners and things like that and some of the funny stuff here and there, but I think they got rid of a lot of the extra stuff, like the background crap. They did a lot more with character development, especially with Cyborg. They did a little more with him. I think I was a little disappointed because with all the hype, I had it built up so big what it was going to be, but I still liked it. I mean, although Darkseid turned out to be a little bitch in this, but, you know, if I can say that. But
and extremely forgetful. I guess he, was extremely surprised. Like, what the heck? You mean that equation's in the same place that I lost some other boxes? What?
Yeah.
Even though it's the same place I lost the mother boxes, you mean the equation's there too?
Yeah.
Seriously, dude? Like, you can ask Ash, and she looked at me weird because I was like, well, no shoot, Sherlock. Of course that's where the equation is because that's where you lost the mother boxes. So then I'm sitting there trying, spoilers, guys, spoilers. Yeah. So then I'm sitting there trying to go, well, maybe there's more than just one group of mother boxes. Maybe there's mother boxes for different worlds, different universes, because obviously Darkseid resides in a different universe, not just an alien planet, but a different universe.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, perhaps that's what it is. And then right there, as it gets to the end, it's now the mother boxes are destroyed. How are we going to take planets now? We'll do it the old ways. How the heck have you been doing it for the last 5,000 years if the mother boxes have been hidden on Earth? That sounds to me like it's the new way, and the mother boxes were the old way.
Yeah. There were definitely a few holes that way, because I even kind of went, wait a minute. How have you been doing it since the mother boxes were hidden on Earth for 5,000 years? I just think they really they did lessen down Darkseid quite a bit. I mean, he was pretty much like, oh, you found it there? It's great. We're going to do it. Okay, do all the work and I'll come when it's all over.
Call me when you've scorched that planet. I'm not going to get cut in the shoulder again by the guy that Wonder Woman was able to defeat in one movie.
Yeah. Like all of a sudden he's the rep, at the end of all right, guys, you guys get the crew to finish everything and I'll come out and check you when you're all done, I
love that. It was like, oh, there's 6 people standing over there and Steppenwolf's spoilers.
Yeah, if you haven't figured it out yet, there's going to be quite a few spoilers in this episode.
4, 3, 2, 1. Spoiler. There's 6 people standing over there. Steppenwolf's head's under my foot. I'm going to crush it and then stand here and wait till the portal closes and then say, let's go just take the planet.
Yeah.
We're not going to just send armies to the portal now and do, like if it were going to be a beast ending, it would have been something to where like he would have jumped through and then it would have ended in a battle. That would have been how Snyder.
Even if he made it look like he was charging the portal or something to try to get to him. He looked like the nerdy kid that made a really bad comment about the captain of the football team, and everybody heard him and turned around and looked right at him, and he was all like, like, did I say something? Did I say that? Oops.
And seriously, how much of a evil bad guy is Darkseid when his general or whatever looks at him and goes, "See, I told you he'd fail us."
Yeah, told you so.
Be like, I was expecting Darkseid to like slice his head off or something right there, just to be Darkseid. But no, he's just like, yeah, we'll take it the old way, which means hopefully they'll be dead by the time we get there.
Even zap them with the Omega Beam or something, just give them a little, just to show you're still who you are.
He reminds me of like a supervisor that doesn't do the work, or like, just to say as an example, a gym teacher who hasn't worked out in like 5 years. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion.
The gym teacher with the beer gut and the, the limping around.
I mean, and don't get me wrong, I loved it. I did. I like the Snyder cut so much more than the Whedon cut, the theatrical version, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. I wish that they would continue that storyline, just because it's art. Every director, every filmmaker has their own art, their own twist on it, and he could do his own thing. To me, it's no different than DC bringing a new comic book writer and saying, "Hey, you're going to get your own limited series. It's not going to take place in the actual main universe. It'll be a side universe. Do your thing."
Well, I read an article today. They're already talking about, oh my God, Snyder's already picking titles for Justice League 2 and 3.
He's throwing them out there, and then Warner Brothers comes out right afterwards and says it's not the direction we're going. But it is Warner Brothers, so
I think they will. Well, they always do that. No, we're not gonna. Well, okay. Okay.
You know what we should do?
Huh?
We should hashtag release the Burton soups. Let's get Burton's Superman made. Come on.
I can't.
Come on, let's do it. We want Nick Cage as Superman, guys. Let's go.
I can only imagine what he would do to Superman. I like Batman, but Superman's just not that dark unless he does a really good, like the death of Superman with the real Doomsday, like something really good.
Doomsday?
Yeah, the real Doomsday.
No, if Burton were going to do a Superman movie, Lobo would have to be there.
I could see that. It seems like everybody's done Brainiac to death. I'm sick of that already.
What?
Yeah, right. Brainiac with the first, see Krypton. I brought myself to watch that just to see what that was going to be like, and that's a few hours I'll never get back.
What, Krypton?
Yeah.
I watched some of it. I want to watch it all just because I want to watch it all. I just want to know it.
I watched it.
There's talks of Keaton being in the new Flash movie or whatever.
Yeah, that's why they're gonna do the multiverse thing with that.
So we might still get a Nick Cage Superman.
Maybe
you never know.
That would be a little. I mean,
he technically was Superman already.
He wasn't.
In Teen Titans Go, the movie, he was.
Oh,
he was
yeah.
just a voice, but he's still.
My son pointed out Nick Cage did voice Superman in the Teen Titans movie.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's what I'm saying though is get an actual Nick Cage.
I saw the test shots they did of him in the Superman suit, and they gave him like back from the 90s when he came back he had the long hair, the hippie Superman they called him. But
see, to me, it looked more like rocker Superman.
Oh God, can you imagine Tim Burton doing the death metal universe? Death metal Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman.
I couldn't.
Oh God. I mean, and the one thing that I think is going to be good with this channel and our discussions we do here, we both saw the same movie, not 15 minutes really apart of each other, and yet I think we interpret what?
Unplanned.
Yeah. And I think we interpreted it two very different ways the dream sequences we were talking
Yes.
about. I thought that was a good point
Yes.
when we were discussing that. I'd like to get, if you're watching this, leave your thoughts to this section in the comments. Again, spoilers, it's going to come up. Now, it looks like to me they did a lot of mixed. Like they had a lot of Injustice stuff in it from the video games. And it looks like they also had Kingdom Come stuff in it. When Lois Lane dies, that's what puts Superman over the edge. They always say Lois is the key to this. And I don't know if it's when the mother boxes were separated and, Flash went back, did the little speed of light thing. He said everything is set right from when the mother boxes and the Kryptonian ship said the future is set now. But you said it's pretty much ready to go, and I thought it, was possibly changed with that.
Well, and that is a good question to have. Is in the, I guess now we would call it the Snyderverse.
Okay,
Because it would no longer be the DCEU because they're saying they're done with Snyder. So this is its own little thing for right now. So I guess we could just call it the Snyderverse. So the biggest question would be, how are they going to handle the mechanics of the Flash and the Speed Force? Because as we know in the comics, as well as the shows, the mechanics has been held differently. With his time travel, in some cases, he actually changes the past and then changes it again and again, but it causes more problems in his time, like he has to deal with.
Yeah, he never seems to get it quite right.
Other scenarios were that it would create an alternate reality.
Yeah.
And he would be stuck in that alternate reality, not able to really bridge over to the reality that is, the true one. So the question
goes back and does it again, and yeah.
The question would be, how would they handle those mechanics? Because in that sense, he changed time twice. First to activate the mother box in the Kryptonian ship. It was in the fluid.
Yeah.
And even though the picture had already landed in the fluid and that droplet had already landed, droplets were still falling around the picture, but it was in the fluid. And then as he hit the speed of light, it reversed.
Yeah.
And then he activated it. And then again to separate the mother boxes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that is the question, is at that moment, did the Flash change what was supposed to happen? Did it create that alternate dream sequence? Me personally, and this is just solely goes off of what I saw watching the dream scene, is that he didn't. That it is a continuation of where they're at.
See, I think he changed it. I think that's why they made the point to give the whole his little I almost want to say his monologue there as he started running again. I know this is going to do it. I shouldn't do it. And then if my father does, his little thing to his father, your son was one of them. I think he was changing it again. That's why I think it could go either way. I think he kind of changed it again.
Now, I asked that, and I know so many people, if they're watching this, are going, what do you mean? It's how it has to go. And this is where the main thing is, on how the main evidence I have to where it's not a change to the past, in a sense of the dream sequence. It very well could have been a change to the past. Obviously, he reversed time as he was going to help, give the power to Cyborg to help separate the mother boxes, basically to plug Cyborg in, is the reality that Barry was in when he entered the Speed Force, the Speed Force.
Yeah.
The reality he was in was not the dream sequence reality. The dream sequence reality, the Justice League survives. The Justice League becomes the Justice League, and then Darkseid comes. Where that reality, they died. It showed Cyborg's body being ripped apart. It showed Superman's body being ripped apart. They all died. Everyone that was at the mother boxes, with the exception of Flash, died. And as he was going back in time, it showed them being put back together. It showed the reverse of them being nuked. So that alone would debunk the fact that if the Flash hadn't gone back, that would have been the dream sequence.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. It leaves a lot of interpretation to how you saw it. Although, can I say one thing? That when we talked about how he's going closer to the speed of light and reversing time and stuff, wouldn't you say that validates the Donnerverse Superman from the first movie we talked about? It wasn't that he was spinning the world around back and forth. It was that he was closer.
Yeah, and remember when I said that, how for the longest time I was like, oh, you can. Then I was like, well, it's just the visual of him,
reaching the speed of because I know you were busting my chops there, though, about, come on, spinning the world around back and forth. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but if you go back and watch it, I
know.
I hit both arguments on that.
It had 70s cheesy in it, but it was nice. I liked it.
Hi,
Crashly. I saw Crashly was there.
I like the fact, like I was saying in the comments, that I haven't watched many of the movies that were out before this. I didn't see the original Justice League. But I thought this was a good standalone movie that you could watch even if you're not a huge Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman fan. Like, it was a good all-around movie.
Yeah. I sometimes think, though, looking at it, you have to have seen the first one to get some of what happened in this. Because they cut out the whole scene with Batman figuring out about the boxes when he caught the parademon in the beginning. They didn't have that in the Snyder cut.
But you know what?
With the sound, the sound that they make to call them in and out. And like, I think there's some parts that you had to see in the first one to get some of what was going on in the Snyder cut.
But you know what? Honestly, I just accepted it as part of the plot line, not having seen the original version, and said, okay, there's these very important Pandora-like boxes. This guy wants them, and they have them, so they have to work together to keep them from the bad guys. And it was very, I was fine with that.
I'll agree with Val. The way that Snyder did the movie, you didn't have to watch Batman versus Superman. You didn't have to watch Man of Steel because it showed it showed Superman dying. It showed Superman's death whale activating the mother boxes.
Yeah,
exactly. That's
even the mother boxes were on Earth for 4,970 years, 60 years before Superman was there. But whatever.
I think I was going more from the nerd perspective of like, okay, this was here. Now what about this? And
well, I think in the Snyder cut, he cut that scene. So I think in the Snyder cut, I don't think Bruce found out about the mother boxes through interrogating a parody. I think
I noticed they cut that out too when he saw Aquaman. He didn't point to the picture on the wall and saw the boxes. Like, he cut that whole section out.
I think where the Snyder cut, and I think it was a missed scene to do. I think it would have been better to do, but I think where the Snyder cut was pulling Batman's knowledge of the situation was from the end credit scene of Batman vs Superman. Lex talking to Batman about what he saw in the ship when Superman died.
Right.
When he was there. Because they mentioned, Alfred mentions you all this because Lex Luthor told you it's coming. I think what it boiled down to is Batman's got all his information from what Lex saw in the Kryptonian ship, and it showed Lex seeing that. I do feel that maybe it was a missed opportunity in the Snyder cut to not have a little bit more of an elaboration on that scene.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, again, you didn't have to. you didn't have to be filled in exactly on how Batman knew about him. Batman knew something was coming. And, Wonder Woman knows all about the boxes.
Yeah, she knew all about them. I like how they extended that scene a little bit too, where she found the arrow, she found it was supposed to be the shrine of the Amazons, and she went down and found the room, like when she put the arrow in as a key, opened it up, went and looked around and saw the story of it, and you kind of got a little more of the battle sequence.
Yeah,
that
Bill.
was a quick Green Lantern scene, I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, Bill. Whedon changed it. Well, he cut a bunch of Cyborg story, and he wanted to focus on Superman. He wanted Superman to be the hero.
Right.
He wanted Superman to be the whole. And Superman was OP in both versions, but that's why he brought in CG lip Superman. Which, I'm sorry, we've had better CGI. How do you mess up his face on that? I just don't get it. But yeah, no, and Whedon. Honestly, if you go back, it was like a merger between Avengers and Age of Ultron. Like he was like meshing them two together type thing. That's what Whedon was turning it into.
Yeah.
And I think the problem is Whedon they brought Whedon in, and I don't think Whedon was 100% prepared. A lot of prep goes into making a film.
Oh yeah.
I don't think Whedon was 100% prepared to do it, to take over a movie like that on the fly. And Warner Brothers said, "You made Avengers awesome, do this." So he basically just pulled out the formula for Avengers and redid it. I mean, that's what it felt like when I watched it. You
can see like Tony Stark humor in Batman and the one-liners and stuff in Justice League, and it just didn't work for me that way. I mean, they should have just put everybody. They're comparing Thanos to Darkseid, things like that.
Yeah, leave it to Whedon to rip himself off, but he does, and I've noticed that in some of his stuff is he will do the same thing over again. Like I guess he falls into his comfort zone too often. I think would be the problem. Where Whedon lies is he falls into his comfort zone too often. He'll be adventurous, he'll try new things, and if something works really well, he has a hard time pulling away from that when it's the same genre.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I mean, that's fine. I mean, that's people do that. I mean, Snyder does that. Snyder, when he made Batman versus Superman, the problem was he had as a vision. You watch Snyder's movies, they're not all the same.
No.
They are different. But when he made Batman versus Superman, it felt like he fell right back into the same lull that he did with Man of Steel. It didn't feel like a different movie.
No.
And it didn't really even feel like a sequel. It felt just like a different version with, like, okay, what if Zod was Batman type thing? When another character comes out. It felt the same. And I think that's what I liked about the Snyder cut of Justice League is it is different. Mm-hmm. I honestly didn't have that I want to fall asleep in this movie. You think 4 hours of a Snyder movie, that would be like when I heard J.J. Abrams was doing Star Wars. I'm like, oh God, we're all going to be blinded by the lens flare because Tatooine has two suns.
Did you read that in the comment about Whedon ripping himself off? We got
Bill Anderson. That's what I was talking about when I was referencing Bill's comment.
Yeah, welcome, Bill. I've heard a lot about you. We're looking forward to having you around here sometimes too. So, but yeah, I if anyone was going to rip themselves off, it would be Whedon, to do that. But yeah, I mean, I like how they made Superman the hero, but not really the hero. Like, it seems like they cut a lot of his stuff out too for this one. But yet they still made him the focus, but everybody else still got their parts. You know what I mean? I thought that was done well.
Yeah, well, and that was one of my problems with the Whedon cut was it ended with Superman being, most of the other Justice League didn't need to be there.
Right.
Like Barry was basically playing Hawkeye, just trying to save people as the world was going to blow up.
Yeah.
Batman was just running around hitting people. You know, it was just and Superman comes in and just does all the things, and then whatever. This one, they all had their roles. Cyborg, if Cyborg hadn't been there, he wouldn't have been able to plug into the mother boxes,
right,
and separate them. If Barry hadn't been there, he wouldn't have been able to not only charge Cyborg but save the day when they were too late.
Yeah, turn the things back. They did it well. He really included everybody well.
Yeah, they all, if Batman hadn't been there, Barry would have died.
Mm-hmm.
They all played their roles in this one. Now, yes, Superman was extremely overpowered. I'm sorry, he was. When Steppenwolf hit him with that axe, it should have not been.
It should have made him flinch a little bit, or at least move back a little bit. Step back, do something.
It should have been more than that. It was more. It was like Superman's just standing there, like ding, like you see Wonder Woman get the crap beat out of her. You see Aquaman, where if you're going comic book wise, Aquaman's almost just as strong as Superman is.
See, that really didn't happen till like the late 80s, 90s. Well, actually, the 80s into the 90s. Aquaman really didn't have strength like that until,
but all of our comic book movies being made now are taking hints from all the decades and focusing on current books that are out to sell current books that are out in Marvel and DC.
Because that's what they even brought it up that, okay, why did he come now? And that's because Superman was gone. Like, they were strong to fight him, but they weren't Superman. You know what I mean? They made that point.
Yeah, and that was the other thing too, is I liked how Steppenwolf did do his research on the planets. Like he straight up said, no Kryptonian.
Right.
But he said that to, and I thought that he said that to Desaad, like, there's no Kryptonian here, and I liked how Desaad was just like, okay, like, what does that mean to me? I don't care. It was one of those. I'm going to give this. I enjoyed what they did with Steppenwolf, and I enjoyed his character a lot more. Like, when he found out, see, I could understand somewhat of, like, the Doomsday thing, I'm like, but, like, when Steppenwolf found going with how they played it, he had no clue that was the planet that the anti-life equation would be on. When he found out that anti-life equation was there, the way that the actor brought it out and the way that the CG brought it out was just, it was like a kid who felt like he struck gold. He's like, oh, the equation's here. I saw it with my own eyes, guys. Come on. My saving grace. Come on. It's here. I need to talk to you right now. Like, it was just like the performance on both the actor and the team to bring it to fruition with the CG and the facial expressions and everything. I enjoyed that tremendously. Like,
it was definitely good CG. They did definitely good.
Like, it was genuine.
Yeah, they did a good job with him. The armor, I could have left in or out for me. I didn't. It looked great. It looked good, but I think it was just a little extra tweak that, I could have gone.
It could have been worse. It could have been Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern suit.
Yeah, I know, right? And I like how he brings that up in Deadpool all the time. If I'm going to get a super suit, please don't make it green and not CG'd.
We might sew your mouth shut. Don't do that. Wouldn't be a good idea.
Yeah.
Trust me.
I have to say, I enjoyed it. Was it the best movie ever? No, there was holes and there were things in it. I'm looking forward to the Flash movie just to see Keaton again in the bat suit. I could, that's enough to get me watching, And I heard them kicking around ideas of Keaton as the old Bruce Wayne in a Batman Beyond type film. But I don't know where that's going. I don't know how much of that is rumor mill and how much is fact.
See,
I'd like to say
I'm old school when it comes to that. I want a Batman Beyond movie. But where I fall short with that is I've talked to some people about Batman Beyond, and they start talking about all kinds of things, and I'm like, I've watched the entire series, and I've got no clue what you're talking about. They're like, no, man, the comic, and I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
the comic became popular? Like, it didn't start out as a comic, guys.
No, it was TV, and then they made it a comic book.
Yeah, like I really have to catch up on that, and of course that's Batman's thing. I mean, Harley Quinn started out as a cartoon character, and then boom, they put her in the comic and blew up. And
yeah, she was only supposed to be in a couple episodes, and then she ended up a major character in her own franchise. So
yeah, like I was talking to one friend, and he's all like, yeah, how Terry McGinnis is Bruce Wayne's son. I'm like, he's not his son. He broke into the Batcave, and they're like, no, he's his son. I'm like, what? Yeah, Amanda Waller used Bruce's DNA to make Terry McGinnis and then killed the stepdad. Wait a minute, what?
I haven't read a single Batman Beyond comic book. I only saw like the series. I saw every episode. And
apparently it made it into, they animated it.
Really?
Yeah.
Rob, that's where we made Robbie's one Halloween costume from.
No, I know what Batman Beyond is. I've seen the entire series and all the movies. I've never seen anything about Terry McGinnis being cloned. And wasn't
not cloned,
Amanda,
but it wasn't cloning. It was utilizing Bruce Wayne's DNA in. It was somewhat doing some sort of genetic mutations or whatever to his dad to turn it into Bruce Wayne's DNA going into Terry. It was weird.
I was going to say, wasn't Amanda Waller technically supposed to be dead by then anyway?
Bill's saying it was the last episode, so I must have missed the last episode.
Yeah, I saw the movies. I like the movies where they did with the Joker, Return of the Joker. But I'll have to watch that again because I got them all on DVD here. I have to check them out again.
I have to watch it. I must have missed the last episode.
Yeah. Maybe I was like, because I'm still doing the Batman animated series because I bought the DVDs of those to watch those, the whole thing over again. And I love it. I sit there like a little kid watching it. It was animation that I actually liked. I mean, I've been reading comic books for years, and they pretty much stuck to, you could see variations in styles for a while when they would do it, but it was kind of stuck to the same thing because I used to love drawing the comic book characters, and I had pictures I drew all over my room that way when I was growing up. But then as they got into the 90s, all these artists came in that just wanted, to show off their style of something, and a lot of it I didn't like. Like there were a couple Superman titles that just, it looked like someone playing in watercolors or something, and it was just not.
Okay. Bill just said it wasn't the last episode of Batman Beyond. It was in Justice League Unlimited, which I have not watched Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet. I started to watch the Superman animated series. They did around the same time as Batman. Like after Batman, when they did the animated version of that. Yeah, I didn't watch too much of that, but I tried to stay up on the comic books, but I try to stay with the main Batman titles, the Superman titles. I like Catwoman just because I like the story, and I always like that arc with Batman and Catwoman being married and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I buy some of the independent ones. I was always a Lady Death, Purgatory, those titles, Chastity, that group.
I read a lot of Dark Horse
And
stuff.
that was Dark Horse Image Comics and that group. But with Batman, I think they're getting too many titles now. That they're taking too many ideas from too many different. I almost want to say non-canon, but I hate to throw that word out there with some of the things. Like especially, there's even a comic Batman 1966. There's the death metal. There's the Batman Who Laughs, and they're just going all different ways with them.
The thing to understand about all comic books is they're all canon.
And that's what gets me.
They're all canon
in their own universe.
Universes.
Yeah.
So they can be
whatever they want,
And that's why I really want them to do the same thing to the films. I want them to just make all the films canon with the universes.
Yeah. But
So,
see, that's the
and
thing that
hopefully
got
they're
me.
doing
That was the only thing that got me in the CW universe, because one of the timelines, Huntress is supposed to be one of Batman and Catwoman's daughter.
Yes.
Yet they made her in CW and Arrow. They made her that universe. She's a mob. She was a mobster's daughter or something like that. That was mad.
Yes, and that in one of the comic universes, she was a mobster's daughter as well.
Okay, I must have missed that one then.
There are two different Huntresses type situation. Yeah, there's
I have to.
universe where she's Selina's daughter, Batman and Selina's daughter.
Yeah,
Bruce and Selina's daughter, and then there's another universe where she had her own situation, like it was a different origin type thing.
okay.
There's different ones out there, and it's hard on DC. That's why I wasn't really a huge DC fan, because
I was.
I didn't have the money to buy comics all the time. And we didn't have the internet to just go and read them digitally.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Either. So I had
to
basically I had to pick and choose, and that's why I liked Marvel, because basically I could get a comic once every 2 or 3 months, or get a handful of comics at Christmas time from different family members, stuff like that, and I could read it and I would understand it, because it was all the same universe, unless the title said it wasn't. Like if it was a Marvel 2 series, I knew, okay, it's Marvel 2. It's a different universe, but it's sort of just a futuristic version, a future universe of what I've been reading. And then, if it was 2099, then I knew, okay, boom. Of course, this was before the whole Ultimate Avengers and Ultimate this, Ultimate that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one of the reasons I liked Marvel, was because I could do that. I could get it and I could read it, and it stayed true. In DC, I'd get a DC comic and I'd be reading it and I'd be like, what? No, that's not right. And then I come to find out, that's a different universe because it's written by this person. And it wasn't, like I said, Nightfall. I was a huge fan of Nightfall.
I love Nightfall.
Nightfall, Night Quest. That is my goal, to get every single one of those books.
I got them here.
I've got a large portion of them, but there are some I don't have, and I'm a cheapskate, so I know it would be very easy for me to just pull up my phone and go and buy them.
Yeah.
But I'm a cheapskate. I'm more of I will end up just hitting up the free comic book day or whatever when they've got their trades at 50, their dollar trades at 50 cents, because there are a lot of them that are only $1. Yeah. I'll buy them that way.
That was the one thing that CW did when they did their crossover episodes, a lot of with the multiverse. Like they had the Huntress from the TV show Birds of Prey, and she was running across the building. So that was the one where she was metahuman and she was Batman and Catwoman's daughter. And I really like that one. And
the CW made it all multiverse canon.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, even having the current Flash in it.
Did you ever read the Elseworlds comic books?
A couple. I've got one of them I read that I've got, and again, that was a problem I had, was I was reading it and I was like, wait a minute, what is this? And on the cover, it's got Superman and he's got like a tiger skin.
Yeah,
that's when
Superman, they did Superman was Mowgli. They did him in Jungle Book. If Superman had landed in the jungle. And then they did one of Superman if he had been raised by Bruce Wayne's parents. Instead of Smallville, they had Superman was Batman. Like he was the one that he was adopted by the Kents, the Waynes. And then when little Clark saw the Waynes murdered, he became Batman, but as Superman's powers. They did a lot of good ones. They did a few Catwoman ones.
I'll try to look for them, because like I said, it's one of those things that there's so many good stories out there. Yeah. And it's hard to pick and choose which ones. And I try my hardest to keep up with it and read about it and stuff like that. And again, there's so many new stories that you're just like, I was a fan of, the Golden Age. I was a fan of the Silver Age. I was a fan of the Bronze Age. And I was even a fan of the 90s stories. A lot of people I know weren't fans of the 90s stories. They hated them. My issue was basically once it got to the late 90s, into the 2000s, that's when I was not as interested in the stories. You know, I had some people like, well, that's because you weren't a kid anymore. You know, you were working all the time and graduated high school. And I'm like, I still read comics. I still looked up the old stories and read those. I just couldn't get into the newer ones. And I would say there are a couple that I have. Spider-Man's Back in Black. I really enjoyed that run. That's about it.
I just think with DC, being the big DC fan that I am, every time they tried to reboot their franchises, like the death of Superman, the rebirth of all the different Superman, they figured that wasn't going real well. Oh, crap, let's bring Superman back. And then they bring him back and they turn him blue, like with electric-type powers. Then they split him into blue and red. Oh, no, that's not working. Let's recombine him back to the original Superman again. And it's just they went too far with a lot of it.
Well, the blue and red Superman wasn't so much. I don't think that was so much of them going, let's have Superman go blue and red. I think what it was like, what can we do? Let's have some fun. What can we do? Let's make a 3D comic book. All right, well, how can we do it? Let's do it with like a Superman blue and Superman red. And they were 3D comics. You put on the 3D glasses, the blue and red glasses, and you had a 3D different thing going on with it. So that was a little bit there. I've got a lot of the Rebirth comics.
That when they get into Rebirth, the New 52 or New 52 and then Rebirth or whatever they were doing, that's when I started to lose out a little bit every time they started doing that noise.
Yeah, New 52 was just...
Yeah. It's just, I like the artwork. I always have. Granted, every female superhero is extra buoyant, scantily clad, and when you see them, I was talking the other night when we were watching Justice League with the Amazons, the way they're we'll call it armor, in bikinis and things like that, and yet you see guys fighting on the same battlefield and they're covered from head to toe in armor, yet the cleavage does something with
the part right above her heart.
Yeah, the part right above her heart is what they decided to leave open so you could see the rest, And then they get on the women at the conventions, but oh my God, why are you dressed like that? How dare you dress? Well, they're doing real cosplay, and that's what the character looks like in the book.
Yeah,
granted, there are some that take it a little too far. Like what are you supposed to be, Pikachu? You're painted yellow with a tail sticking out of your butt. You're not Pikachu. But granted,
peek at you.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff they leave open for that, but. Yeah.
Well, and but they were drawn a specific way, and I've some people have had the comments, that's sexist. They drew them that way. Have you seen the way they draw the guys?
Yeah, I don't know anybody who looks like that. Too many guys that look like that.
They're running around in spandex.
Yeah,
and they're drawn like superheroes.
Yeah, all of them, everybody.
Yeah.
You can also.
I can. I can see where people get annoyed in like the video game aspect, where if like World of Warcraft or something like that, where it's like all. But in the comic book thing, it was more of a, you draw it. It was drawn for two reasons. One, to attract I would love to be able to do that stuff and look like that. And the other one is we're trying to sell comic books to boys who are hitting puberty.
Yep.
What's the best way to do that? Look at
extra buoyant, scantily clad females.
There's a different situation there, but at the same time, you get look at Catwoman. Catwoman was completely covered.
Yeah, she always had. Well, as it went on through the 80s, 90s, and into the 2000s, she went from like the cat suit and the thing to the cat suit, unzipped down to her belly button, because we all know how tactical that is, when you're trying to sneak around. Yeah.
it's going to happen after you see Michelle Pfeiffer fight around in sewed up leather. I mean, come on. They were like, "Oh wait, people love hot Catwoman. We got to make Catwoman hot."
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it boils down.
I think they did a good suit with oh my god, Catwoman in with Christian Bale, Anne Hathaway. I think they did good with her suit and her outfit. It was tight. It had the sexy look to it, yet it was still covered enough to do what she had to do, and all that stuff.
Yeah, and also like you mentioned the Amazonians.
Yeah,
and that's a tough one to bring into that mix, because if you're going to compare Amazonian armor, you'd be looking at ancient Greek armor, and when it came to your grunts, yeah, some of them had full clad armor, but most of them didn't.
Chest plates and helmets. But if you want to get historically accurate, Amazonian armor should only have one boob on it, because most of them removed their boob so they could fire a bow to get too historically.
But they don't have to have it removed to fire a bow. Merida taught us that in Pixar's.
Oh my god, get me started on that nonsense. But historically speaking,
movie.
I liked Merida. I liked Brave. That was one of my favorites.
That was a good movie.
I liked it.
I'm just, what I'm saying though is you got to look at that and I'm like, well, have you ever seen a Hercules movie where Hercules is all decked out in full armor? No, he's running around in a dang loincloth.
Yeah. with his dangling Chad.
It's like you got to be able to see all the muscles. Yes, I said muscles, not just muscles.
Yeah, I know.
But so I mean that's a hard one to compare to. And then you look at the same time, look at the way that they did, even in the Snyder cut, look at the way that they did the Atlanteans. They had full armor. And there's nothing wrong. Again,
but of course, Mara still had her, cleavage sticking out and everything, even in her armor, fighting.
Yeah. Shame that they cast that.
Well, they also did, the way they drew even Clark Kent back in the comic books. All right, Clark Kent is 6'5", and they still got him built like a brick, crapper. And take the glasses off. You sure you're not Superman, dude? You're 6'5" and bulky like that. Just saying,
Well, you can slouch a little bit. You can wear clothes that don't show your physique, and
It's also one of those things when you don't see someone when you see someone where you don't expect them, sometimes it takes your minute.
I guess.
You're not going to believe that the guy is Superman.
I know.
So, I mean, I think it's more your mind just says there's no way that's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even getting back to the Snyder Justice League movie, I mean, even Wonder Woman, her great Amazonian armor, a mini skirt and a corset, Well, granted, I'm not complaining or anything, granted, but
here's my biggest situation with Justice League, right? With Snyder Cut, not biggest situation. Here's another situation with the Snyder Cut.
Bill.
In the end, it shows Clark turning down an alley, taking off his glasses and going. They know he's Superman. How do they not know he's Superman?
Yeah. Superman
dies. Clark dies.
Yeah.
Superman comes back.
Oh, check out Clark's back.
Not only that, there were like at least 3 witnesses standing there while Batman and Lois were going, "No, Clark, calm down, Clark!" Like did those cops
yelling Clark at him?
Clark? You mean Lois's reporting partner that died the same time Superman died?
Is Superman? I mean, in the comic books, when Superman died and Clark was gone, they explained his coming back really well. They said he was still trapped under the rubble, and it took him that long to be dug out and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So they kind of gave a good excuse for that. This one, they're just like, "Wow, Clark's back."
I was watching the first episode of the new CW show. What is it? Superman and Lois.
Lois and Superman. I love it.
Yeah, I keep want to call it Lois and Clark, but
I know. I want to say Lois and Clark so
Um,
bad.
You're telling me his kids have never seen him with his glasses off and not me?
Well, they're kids. How often do your kids actually look at you? Like,
Okay, good point.
it's
They're
like, yeah,
teenagers, so yeah, you're right.
yeah.
They're not looking
Here's
at
how
me.
my kids look at me.
I liked how when they did that. Yeah, but I also liked how when they told them, like he's like, it was just, they're like, no, you're not.
They're
And
like
then he
bullshit. Yeah,
Does
they're-
it, like, no, you're
yeah. They're calling bullshit.
no, Bill. Clark Kent is not Superman. You
Right. He's like, no, really. He's got to pick up the truck and do the thing.
like, no, I am really. It's.
I mean,
it's
I
one of
loved
those
I loved Lois and Clark because Terry Hatcher was always my favorite as Lois Lane back in the day, and Dean Cain. But I love this new show. I like Superman and Lois so far.
I'm liking it so far. I mean, the last episode was kind of dry, but
I didn't see this week's yet. I got to watch.
I haven't. Well, there's tonight's episode that you can watch tomorrow. I'm talking last week's episode. I felt it a little dry. Like it was.
Yeah. And I'm just wondering what they're going to, if you haven't watched it yet, there's more spoilers coming. But it seems like everybody has some kind of superpower with the kryptonite this guy's looking up.
Well,
Like this little press secretary that looks like the one they got now.
You remember Smallville?
Yeah.
Remember Smallville? You remember how the kryptonite that landed, basically landed the same time Clark's ship landed?
Yeah.
And we started the wall of weird, and everybody was getting weird powers from it.
Okay.
Because I mean, kryptonite has to be somewhat radioactive. I think what it's coming down to is this person is being able to tap into that to create metas.
It's mutated.
I mean, come on, it's comic books. It's not far fetched.
Yeah, it's
Bill, I think everybody knows, but he gets force choked if they don't play along.
No, here's what happens, right? This is what happens. Superman can hear anytime somebody goes, I think Clark Kent's Superman, and he just goes up and kisses them real quick.
There you go. When he kissed Lois, that was hysterical.
He
Even watching that back then, we were all like, what?
And he's just as fast, he's almost as fast as Barry. So obviously, if Barry can sit there and do a little I'm assuming his iris.
Yeah.
If he can do his little I'm gonna brush your hair away while I'm saving your life type thing. Yeah. Clark can do it without people realizing it. So that's what he's doing. It's his version of little Men in Black snap, flashy thingy.
I love how Barry grabbed the dog in the air for the dog.
Yeah, when they showed Barry saving the girl from the car accident, the truck accident.
Yeah. That was Iris.
He grabbed the hot dog out of the air to feed the dog, and so
yeah.
I thought it was good the way they cut. He got little details in Barry in the Speed Force, like when his shoes ripped off.
Yeah,
and he ran out and things like. But yeah, I think this Superman and Lois has a few good ways it can go. With Lex Luthor being from the other universe trying to kill him, and telling General Lane what's going on.
Spoiler alert, people!
Yeah, I said spoilers. But
no, I'm right there with you. Like I said, I'm liking it. I'm wanting to see how it goes. I hope we get current universe's Lex in. I'm kind of wanting to know which universe this Lex is coming from because this takes place after Crisis.
I think so. It's supposed to be where I think it's Kingdom Come or Injustice.
It takes place like 16 years after Crisis.
Yeah, it's supposed to be after Lois's dad was killed and all that, and they went that way.
Lois's dad isn't killed. Lois's dad's alive in the show.
No, Lois. When it's supposed to be the universe he comes from is the one where Lois is killed. Lex Luthor in this show is the one where Lois is supposed to have been killed.
Oh, Kingdom Come. He's supposed to come.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the apocalyptic version of Kingdom Come.
Okay.
Where Superman just goes nuts and totalitarian, almost like the Injustice.
Yeah, well, it would be a little bit different. No, what if it's more of the Kingdom Come Batman universe? Because in the Arrowverse, we know that the Kingdom Come Superman universe is the Donner verse.
Yeah.
Because Brandon Routh played Kingdom Come Superman, and he actually turned good again, obviously.
Well, I almost think it's the Injustice universe where Superman takes over. He thinks that, instead of just letting humans do what they want, he just takes over and tells them how they're going to act and all that stuff. So
could be
almost like the dream sequence.
There's so many things they could do with it. I mean, one thing that hurt the Arrowverse was after Crisis, they tried to be like, "Oh, these are the worlds that they kept." It didn't really open up for a whole lot more.
No, it looked like they just kept certain, like everything merged into one because Superman and Supergirl and all that were still in Barry's world, and they all knew each other. So, like, some of the universes combined.
It merged those two. It merged Supergirl's universe with Barry's universe.
Yeah.
So basically, they did that because they were like, "Ooh, well, now we can make it easier without having a multiverse crossover. We can mix them together." And,
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe this is
what my best friends told me earlier. They've given enough of their time to the Arrowverse.
Yeah. This is maybe a little on topic of the Arrowverse, but did you see they apparently Batwoman is failing miserably this season too with this new girl? They recasted Ruby Rose's character,
Kate Kane.
Yeah, they're bringing Kate Kane back, but they just got a different person now for her.
And they're gonna find out it's still not gonna be enough because the problem with the new Arrowverse is it's not Arrow.
No.
Like, if they wanted to revive the Arrowverse, give us Kingdom Come Batman. Give us that story. When Kate Kane's sitting there in Crisis talking to Bruce Wayne and comes to find out that he killed the Joker and, like, has all the trophies of his death.
And killed Superman.
That story. Yeah.
He killed Superman and everybody. He went, yeah.
Give us that story. That would be one that would be huge.
Just give us a Batman in general in the Arrowverse or something. Well, I'll call it the CW verse now. Just give us any Batman. But I liked Kevin Conroy. He played a perfect mix, man.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it's like, I so want Michael Keaton. I was that person that was like, Batman Beyond, Michael Keaton. Batman Beyond, Michael Keaton. Crisis, Kevin Conroy, Batman Beyond. Yeah, I'm there. Dang.
I mean, I like the character. I like Kate Kane's character. I just don't think they're doing enough with it. I don't think they're doing it quite right. You know what I mean?
Something's just missing.
It's not quite clicking into sync with that.
The show was missing. I'm sorry, I didn't get into Batwoman. I tried. I watched.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I watched the first season. I kind of was able to watch the whole first season. Watched the first 2 episodes of the second season with the new girl. I couldn't go any further. I just no, and I turned it off. And now they're saying they're recasting Kate Kane, and I almost might watch it just to see if they get it to click yet, but
it won't click. And another problem is where they're at with it. You've got Superman and Lois, but obviously with the age of the boys being 16.
Around there, like 9th grade, 10th grade. Well, they said they're freshmen, so 9th grade.
9th and 10th.
So 14, 15, 16. Yeah, 15, 14, 15.
Depending on what month they were born.
Yeah.
So you've got right there, you're 15 years after Crisis, because in Crisis of the Arrowverse, they were off-world to give birth to them.
Yeah.
So you're already in a future timeline on Superman and Lois. So there's no real crossover there.
No.
It would be cameo.
Right.
And so that means that your main flagship shows to carry it are The Flash, Supergirl, Batwoman.
Anything still like
the lineup's just not there. The Flash can't carry it all on its shoulders. The Flash is
Well, Bill here mentioned Legends.
I love how Legends. You know,
I can kind of get into the Legends. Val likes Legends. They might be able to do something with that because they're time travelers.
Well, I love how they took
But
Rory from Doctor Who, the actor. I want to say Arthur Darvill, but I'm not sure if that's right. But I love how they took him from Doctor Who and then made him
a time traveler.
Not a time lord, but basically a time lord.
Yeah, he's the captain of the time ship.
I just love that little Easter egg in there. But Legends is my favorite because they pull everyone in.
I liked Leonard Snart, Mick and Leonard. I liked them too. Mr. Frieza.
Mick and
I
Rory.
liked Leonard.
he wasn't Mr. Freeze. He was Captain Cold.
That's right. I keep thinking Freeze, but I liked Leonard Snart.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Rory.
He had just enough of that little condescending voice in him. And I like Mick, especially when he's taking care of the baby, holding the baby with a beer, and then reading his romance novels to him.
Legends of Tomorrow. Yes, that is, and that's how it, and that should be their flagship for the show.
Yeah.
I mean, and yeah, actually, there's your crossover for Superman and Lois because heck, time.
Yeah. I think it could take over as like the main show in the Arrowverse kind of, because Flash is starting to run its course. I don't know. I think it is. Like when they say that's just the same thing every episode of the Flash. I'm Barry Allen. I'm the fastest man alive. Yet I always seem to find a villain who's faster than me in the beginning of the season. You know, it's just reverse Flash. Oh my God.
The Flash is just again, it
Zoom
again repeating the same thing over
and
over again. You know, Arrow ran its course, and the problem with Arrow was it was like, ooh, let's make a show on, let's do a Batman show, and they're like, Batman, it's going to be Green Arrow, and they'll be like, what, the Robin Hood guy? No, he's going to be like Batman. It'll be fine.
They did it with Aquaman. We can make Arrow. We can make him manly. We made Aquaman manly.
Batman show is Oliver Queen.
And I like how they argue in the crossover the whole time. Batman's just a myth. I'm the only vigilante.
Yeah, Batman's a myth.
He's getting all bent out of shape because they're comparing him to Batman.
I like how even in Legends, sorry, I missed something there, but even in Legends, I like how they even bring in like Constantine, Jonah Hex, just a little bit of just everything, and the different. They even get into social issues like I can't think of his name, but how there were Black people who fought for the South and the North in the Civil War, and just they kept bringing up I look like this in this time period. I can only wear certain clothing.
They try to get a little accuracy going, but I even actually started watching Stargirl. I watched Stargirl and I liked it.
Oh, Stargirl was awesome.
And they got it looks like they got Starman at the very end of that first season.
Did you watch the whole season?
Yeah, I watched the whole season. I liked it.
I loved that whole season. It was amazing. Even when they're like, "Are we sure we're the superheroes here?"
Yeah.
I think Stargirl is great for kids.
Yeah, that's the teenage girl show. It's like
even a little younger.
Don't say that, because I was Stargirl was. I was like, "Ooh, new episode! Ooh, new episode!"
I know. I was like a little kid too. I'm like,
I was completely in the
it's on, But I think it appeals to the younger girls too. It gives a teenage girl,
preteen. I think they would go younger because I just think I wouldn't have minded putting that on when the kids were little.
Well, the kids were little. They used to watch the other show because I'm sitting there looking at Stargirl going, this kid looks familiar. Who the? And I'm looking, I'm thinking, holy crap, that's Bella and the Bulldogs. That's the girl from Bella and the Bulldogs that the kids used to watch on Disney Channel or whatever it was, Nick or Disney or whatever one that was. And I'm like, holy crap, it's her.
Or like our kids grew up with Teen Titans, the cartoon, which I know when we were watching the Zack Snyder cut the other night, we kept waiting for Cyborg to break out and
Booyah!
The hamburger song.
Oh my God. If you've watched the cartoon Teen Titans Go,
it's funny.
When they do their burrito song and their cheeseburger song, We wanted to hear Cyborg buns, chip, pickles, lettuce, cheese. Put that patty in between his burgers. What? Yeah. We have a wide range of DC and fandom here in this house.
Oh yeah. I don't think we've met a fandom that we don't like. Pretty much.
Hey, come on! Like Bill said here, Legends can do an epic, big, huge battle against a plush toy.
Yep.
Come on,
No, I mean,
Bebo or whatever. I think
Bebo.
Bebo.
No, it was awesome. Like where it was one time where it's like it was, and it's a running joke throughout the show too. Because like even later on, like after Crisis or whatever, they're like, "Oh, Bebo." I'm like, "Oh, you don't mess with Bebo.
Don't mess with Bebo.
You don't mess with."
They got some funny. I think it's a good show because
fighting Bebo again.
even what's her name, the captain. Oh my god, I want to say Laurel Lance, but I know it's not Laurel. It's the other one,
Sarah.
Sarah Lance.
Sarah.
When they're going to burn her as a witch in the one episode, and how they're reading the charges against her, influencing the young maidens of our village into whatever. And she said some of them didn't need a whole lot of influence, and stuff like that. But it's just I think it's a good, funny show.
Legends needs to be the flagship
I think so.
of the CW verse.
See, Bill knows what I'm talking about. He's on here. Waffles.
Yep, he knows. He knows.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have Bill on here sometime too, because as the artist that he is, and I was told he started doing comic book art and things like that. I used to do the same thing in school.
You still do the same
and I still
thing.
do the same thing here. I still draw, but I remember my dad. What are you going to do with that? Just why don't you do your regular homework? Don't be messing around with. You ever hear starving artist? And so I'm glad to see somebody is doing something with it and was encouraged. Maybe I don't know the whole story. We have to talk to you one day. But my dad, I think my dad was just looking out for my like a practical type future. How are you going to make money? How are you going to support things? But
And now we're doing the opposite with our daughter.
Yeah, now I'm doing the opposite
because you need to do something with your drawing, and I'm like, you need to go to business school.
See, with me, it was me. I was into comics. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna draw a comic book. You need to not draw ever again.
Oh, I think we've talked about my daughter Anna before, how she draws, and she's, we used to. Anna, bring me that picture over here, please.
Why?
Because I want to see it, please.
You're being called out, Anna. Come on, bring over your picture the other night.
She drew me a picture the other day.
It may not show up on.
She drew me Spock. I showed you the picture she drew of me of Spock, and I told her how DeForest Kelley was my favorite. Dr. McCoy was always my favorite, and she drew me this.
Nice.
You can see the hold on. Well, there's a glare in it, but she did in an hour and a half. It took her an hour and a half to draw that.
So here's what you need to do with that. You need to go ahead and get with Rachel over at TSA and see about getting that colored and turn into a custom diamond painting.
Yeah.
You should see some of our other drawings too. They're insane.
There you go. Bill got crap for playing video games. I didn't get too much crap for video games because the only video games I had when I was little was the Atari 2600 when that came out when I was almost graduated high school. We used to play pinball at the bowling alley when my dad would do his bowling league nights. And then I remember standing there when they brought Space Invaders in for the first time. And we're all standing there in front of this thing like, oh, what is that? And that's when all that started. But yeah, here I am. I want to draw and I want to get my stuff over and Anna's stuff over to Rachel, but I ended up in healthcare.
Well, Anna likes black and white.
Yeah, I do too. But
and charcoals and
35
years me who went to school for film, didn't finish the schooling, but went to school for film to direct and produce. And what am I doing? I'm moving stuff for auctions.
Well, look at Kevin Smith. He never finished film school, and he made Clerks for what, $800, if that. And now
it was more than $800, dude.
Well, he always says something. He always says
I've worked with some of my good friends on doing some we've done some cool stuff. I just don't know where they went because, now we all have cameras.
Yeah.
Then it was like we had to get a camera, had to get together and stuff like that. So yeah, now we've got cameras and everything. And like, heck, I remember like we use for our film editing, we use Power Director. And
Okay.
Ashley's like, when we first got it, she's like, "Why Power Director?" I'm like, "Because I know it. Because that was the very first software I used back a long time ago that I was actually able to use." I mean, when I was talking to my son, he made me happy the other day. He's like, "Yeah, I tried using Maya. I was able to do this." I'm like, "Well, you went further than I did with it because last time I tried Maya, I made a blob that was supposed to be a ball and I made it bounce once, and that was it. And it took me about 6 months to do that."
I'm like, Val wants to get the same software editing stuff you have, and I always look at it and I'm thinking, okay, I'm like, what do we have to do this? What are you going to do with this? She goes, well, I don't have a Kerwin to edit my stuff. So I'm like, oh, okay, I know. But
say this, Crashly edits all her videos now.
there you go.
She'll actually I haven't played with it that often within the past year or so that I'll be like, "Hey babe, how do you do that again?" But my thing is I want to get more of the visual effects into it. Get a lot of those because there's all kinds of things you can subscribe to now, and you can buy visual effects shots and stuff. So there's a lot more to do with that.
Yeah.
And I would love to make a fan film of anything. Yeah. Could you imagine the fun we'd have?
Oh my God.
With your circle, so we'd have plenty of actors.
Yeah, we do. And the way I sew to relax and the costuming I do, I can outfit a Starfleet army, both sides, tonight. I could do it right now.
Starfleet because Paramount would sue us.
Yeah, they would.
That's right. I'm just sorry. Hey, you look at Accident. I think the only reason they never really came down on fan films too hard,
except that one
until Axanar, because they were in like the millions of dollar budgets, and the actors were going.
And it wasn't so much. See, the problem was, and I was watching it, and Axanar made me mad too, because we had fan films, and they were fan films.
Yeah.
They were cheesy. They weren't the greatest. The stories were hit and miss. And then Axanar came and they had somewhat decent stories, but they had become friends with the actors. Yeah, and they were able to get funding for it, which, again, funding's fine. Where they messed up is when they started going, "We did it, now pay to watch."
Yeah.
That blew it. That killed it right there. The moment it was pay to watch.
Yeah, because they have
and they tried to find a workaround. Like, you're not paying for the movie.
You're donating to our cause.
This.
Yeah.
And you're getting the movie as a bonus. Like, and Paramount's like, "We know what you're doing."
Yeah, they're like, "Bull crap."
And you just ruined it for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, Bill, Anna does get mad when I show her stuff online too. Because I asked for it, she said, "Why?" And as soon as she handed it to me, she took off running. So
Oh, I'm getting glares. Don't worry.
Yeah, we're getting glares. My son Robbie, like when I was growing up too, my family owned bakeries, so I grew up a baker. That's what I did, and I always wanted to open my own bakery. But my son Robbie likes to bake and cook too, so I'm hoping he'll go to school, culinary school. As a matter of fact, every girlfriend I ever had, that's how I got them. Was baking items.
Oh, excuse me. I thought that was our love story, my dear.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I have one. I'm a one-trick pony. I bake. There it is.
Yeah, here I'm thinking this is our romantic story.
Well, the one, my first wife, I won her on the radio, and I should have taken the concert tickets.
Honey,
instead.
pencil in a fight for after the thing.
Yeah, pencil in the fight. But Val I've known Val since she was 15 years old, and then.
Yeah, but tell them your age compared to mine.
I'm sorry. Shut up. Who? What? Technical difficulties, But
we should talk about Falcon Winter Soldier because we haven't really talked about it yet.
Yeah, because but she was she had broken up with her boyfriend, and I had said, "All right." I went over there with a Black Forest cake that I made and some fudge nut brownies, like from the bakery, because I was, working at the bakery then. And I brought them over to her. I said, "You have a week to do whatever you girls mourn or whatever, and we're going out Friday night." And then 3 kids later, plus her one. Now look at me. No,
Yeah, look at you.
just kidding.
Yeah, no, we've all. I mean, that's the wonderful thing about being a nerd is you've got those stories, and we can always take them and feel the relation of those to nerd stuff.
Yeah.
We can. That's why we like the different things in that genre. Different things. Sorry, it was a late night for me.
I was cleaning up my stuff today, and I found about 3 Superman costumes, a Flash costume, Captain America, about 4 Batman costumes, a stink load of Klingons and Starfleet of every era in there. Because when I get bored or frustrated or need to relax, I go down and sew. And I'm in the middle of a Superman costume project right now. I'm either going to do Kingdom Come or, a little different version of one. But that's my relaxing. Drawing a little bit and relaxing. So
My relaxing is closing my eyes.
Yeah,
and dreading
no one bothers me if I'm just walking around the house awake. No one will say 2 words to me. The minute I want to put my head on that pillow or on the couch or somewhere, Dad, can you? Hey, where's my thing? Do you have to go? I need you to go can you get? Wait, no, nobody bugged me for the last 5 hours. Now all of a sudden,
they're bugging me, and I finally said, "Go ask your father."
Well, let's keep them with you next time.
Oh man, yeah. So and that's why, I like my relaxing is watching shows. Like I made a point to watch Falcon and Winter Soldier with Ashley.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was one of those things where it's like, nope, and now we've got the channel, so I'm like, nope, I need to watch this.
Gotta watch it. I know.
I gotta watch this. I gotta pay attention to it.
That's probably what I'm going to do. I'll be at work tomorrow, and I'll probably be watching the Superman and Lois, and I'll probably watch Falcon and Winter Soldier there. I want to say Falcon and the Snowman, that big movie from the 80s. I keep wanting to say that, but it's...
Hey, Rob, why don't you tell Kerwin what you've been watching?
I don't want to give spoilers because you haven't seen it yet, even though, we talked about it, but...
Yeah.
I don't want to give spoilers, but it's a completely different pace than WandaVision.
I figured that. I figured it was going to be a lot more to it.
It is. Oh, it's honestly its own thing. Like I haven't seen anything like it in the MCU before either. Just like WandaVision was its own new thing. This is sort of new. It wasn't like it has a little bit of action to it, but it's mostly. I don't know. It reminds me a lot of Superman and Lois as far as the pacing and the style of storytelling goes. It's they're focusing a lot. Like I said last time, what I think they're going to do, it looks like what they're doing is they're focusing a lot on the aftermath of the blip.
Yeah,
they're letting us know what each character did. So then when we see the movies, the holes are filled in.
Okay.
And yeah, it was a really, really well done show. Like Bill said, there it's one of the best pilots he's seen because even Bill watched it. Pizza.
Yeah. I have to say, I'm kind of embarrassed. I got sucked into a series, and I'm even going to hear Crashly laughing at me when I say what it is. I'm almost into season 3 now of the originals. I started watching it, and I'm like, huh. And I just kept going with it, and I'm like, oh, come on.
So what's going to be the excuse next time? Well, I finished the originals.
No,
but now I got
not watching Legacies.
into Legacies. So
No, I got to watch Falcon and the whole Snyder thing. The whole 4 hours of my night that night it cut me. I got all that out and I watched it and I liked it. But then I was up late and then I had to get up early and then I was trying to fall asleep and running errands around. And now my next few days at work, I get to catch up on all the shows that I didn't get to watch last week. And I have to tell my patients, can you
all
just
right, Bill,
quiet? I got to watch this.
you guys have a good time. Thanks so much for coming and thanks for hanging out with us.
Who's that? Who's leaving? Oh, okay.
Bill's gonna go spend some time with his wife.
Yeah. Okay, Bill.
See, us
See you
nerds
next time.
have lives. It's not a situation where it's like, oh, let's go spend time with our Cheetos bag in our mom's basement. No, that's not how it works. We live in the age of nerds.
Yes, we do. The nerds shall inherit the earth.
No, it's the geeks shall inherit
The
the earth.
geeks shall inherit the earth. The nerds will.
It's the
Either
geeks.
way, we're born to be geeks.
That's right. This is the way. Oh yeah, I got a couple Mandalorian costumes now too. Forgot.
Every time I go to Joann's, I walk right by the cosplay stuff, and I'm like, I need to buy. But speaking of wives, mine would kill me if I brought more stuff home. I bring home a little pop, and it's like, what are you gonna do with that? Take it back?
Sounds familiar.
No.
Except
It's a business expense.
Okay, so says my diamond painting stuff
Yeah.
then.
And how many diamond paintings do you have in this house right now?
Compared to how many
Hey,
photos you have.
So,
Yeah. Anyway,
come on, back.
come back.
Dean
There's a
Nick,
site-
what is
There's a
up?
site on Amazon that you can get Warbler, the 1x1 sheets of Warbler, 5 of them for $20, which is a really good price considering what Warbler goes for. And that's how I'm doing my son's. That's what I'm doing the Mando build with.
I've already made the decision. When I
Yeah.
get the time and the money and the time to do it, I'm going to make a Snyder Cut Justice League Batfleck suit.
I saw a thing
I
where you
could put on a girdle and I could pull that off.
You should see the Batfleck suit I got that I made.
I found a new site.
It's not the armored version or anything like that, but it's the gray. I got the stuff on it,
I'm
and I
talking
cut
about the one that he wears in
the end. The fight.
the Snyder Cut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have the one from the Batman versus Superman Batfleck, and like
Yeah.
his cameos in Birds of Prey and all that. Or not Birds of Prey. What was it called?
What's up,
Suicide
Captain
Squad.
Kung Fu? Welcome to the stream. Crashly's the best.
Uh-oh. Do we know Captain Kung Fu?
Apparently, Crashly knows Captain Kung Fu.
Or Crashly is Captain Kung Fu. Who knows?
And we're getting bombed with Crashly is the best. We know Crashly.
Oh, D-Nick's here too. Hi, D-Nick.
D-Nick's here.
Yeah, I saw that. I said, "What's up, D-Nick?" earlier. He said, "What's up?"
Captain Kung Fu.
Yeah, what I was saying is I saw a new technique that I haven't even told Rob about yet, where you can get foam from Joann's and you shave some of it off and then you rubber cement it together and you can make full armor out of
Oh, I've
that.
seen that. Yeah, I've seen that. The
And
AV.
It's a
the AV
lot
foam.
cheaper.
Well, it's a lot cheaper, but some of the groups don't like the foam armor. Like the Mando Mercs group, you can't have a foam suit and be approved. If you're just going to do one for you, yeah, foam is good. But I know the actual Mandalorian Mercs, like the 501st, you can't have a foam suit. You can't use foam.
What's it supposed to be made out of? 3D printing?
There's Sintra, which is sign material. Sintra, Warbler. One guy, they were talking, I watched a few videos. He works in an auto body shop and used auto body materials and molded it and shaped it and painted it and sprayed it and even car waxes it before events.
As long as it's not foam.
Right.
I would think you
And
could-
I always thought Warbler was a form of foam.
Warbler's not foam. Val was talking about the AV foam people are using to make the helmets with and things like that.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Whole costume.
Yeah, like if you go into Joann's, you'll see the whole section with Yaya Han on it or whatever with the AV foam, the different textured foam and things like that that's in there.
This was slightly different, but I'll show you. I'll send you guys. The
Yeah,
videos.
there was a guy at the last con I went to had the full Batman armored suit from Batman v Superman made out of AV foam.
But
It looked good. He really did a great job. It looked great.
She plastidip them on the outside.
Well,
so
she
it's
doesn't
got a
plastidip
plastic
them. Her people
shear.
plastidip it for her. I've
Yeah.
seen Yaya Han is not as involved as she shows as a lot of stuff, I think.
No, and her stuff is always on sale at the lowest amount, so you can never
Yeah,
use a coupon at Joann's.
That's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother episode with that. Products for our fandom making things, but
Oh, I want to get into cosplay. I just want costumes. I'm the kind of person, I'm the weirdo that I would wake up one day if it were like a Saturday, I didn't have to work. I'd wake up and be like, you know what? Today I'm going to be Batman. I just put it on. Crashly, like, Kerwin, what are you doing? I'm Batman.
Mom, Dad's outside dressed like Batman again. But yeah, like with the kids, Halloween is my best time of year because my son Robbie likes the obscure characters for cosplays. Like one year we did the Spider-Man Homecoming he wanted, but he wanted the sweatsuit Spider-Man, his original version suit.
Okay.
So we did it out of the sweatpants, sweatsuits, the socks, and that stuff, the goggles. One year he was Gotham by Gaslight Batman, the 1800s Batman we did. The one where he was fighting Jack the Ripper.
What are you all rating?
We're getting rated. Your stream's getting rated.
Our stream
That's a
is.
good thing.
What do you mean we're getting rated?
Just go with it. Ask them to give thumbs up.
Yay! Give the thumbs up, like and subscribe.
Right, we've been
We're
rated.
being rated. All right.
Like, subscribe, notification bell, thumbs up. All right,
Right
Becky, you were talking about your kid in Halloween costumes.
Yeah, we did the Gotham by Gaslight for that one. This year for Halloween, he went out as in the Ninja Turtles when Raphael went out with the trench coat and the hat on. So he had a turtle mask with the fedora and the trench coat, the big trench coat, like the Ninja Turtle.
Our daughter was a cheap Barbie.
Oh God, that was funny one year. We go real into it.
I made, when I was in high school, junior high or high school, I made one of my Halloween costumes was a Borg costume. I made it out of tinfoil, vacuum cleaner hose, and model pieces.
That sounds boring.
Is that
Yeah, I hear.
Oh my
is that the lovely Crashly behind you?
Yeah, that's the one and only Crashly.
There she is. And Peggy.
And Peggy.
And
Are you
Peggy.
guys happy about Raid Town?
What is raid?
Oh, wait.
Raid is when you have ants
Lately.
in your
Mhm.
kitchen and you spray the raid. No, okay.
The
So
raid is when you get together and go attack a boss.
okay, you guys are the boss.
We're getting attacked? That's not a good thing when you're the boss and you're getting attacked.
You know,
I've played Double Dragon.
so everyone in Nick's stream, he sent to your stream.
Oh.
They're raiding you.
Yay!
It's a nice
I feel like there
thing.
needs to be a
Good.
song.
Yay! D-Nick's the bomb.
He is. Thank you.
Yes.
Nerd.
They still playing Mario Kart?
No, we are not playing anymore. I'm just
Animal
kidding. I was
Crossing.
totally watching your guys and not playing Mario Kart.
Did you win?
Animal Crossing. Jen gave us green mums the other day. We have green mums now.
Look at you! Look. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll
Hey, Lulu.
let you continue.
Hey, Lulu.
Crafty stuff.
Oh my God! What did my phone just do?
See, we learned something new today in the YouTube geekdom. We found out what a YouTube raid is.
Yay!
Who knew? You got a bunch of gamers in here now.
Oh, we got the kids as
Oh,
they.
wait, as Robbie comes down the stairs.
Yeah, right.
Gamers.
Next channel is a gaming
I know.
channel. Oh, you want me to leave? I'm sorry, I'll leave.
He's giving you a hard time.
I actually just said gamer as my son Robbie walked in the room.
It's just
He probably walked in.
gamers.
Robbie walked in like. He heard gamer. Huh?
Speaking of gamers, I don't know if I don't play newer games that much, but I've been wanting to get into gaming somewhat a little bit more. But time. I mean, how am I going to get the time to do everything I want?
You could spend less time buying Star Wars toys.
This is not the time to be talking about the time. We don't have the time. Name that movie.
Star Wars?
Close.
Star Trek First Contact.
Yep.
George, you're not there is no time.
Yeah.
Made a custom Batman Dark Knight suit for Halloween. Ooh, nice.
Oh, and you said that too. My daughter's playing Skyrim. Hannah's playing.
You know,
Skyrim.
we should go to our Facebook page and make a post asking people to post pictures of their cosplay, Halloween costumes, whatever their nerd costumes they've made.
There you go.
It'd be cool. We could see them get ideas.
Nick was just talking about how he made a costume and that he can sew curtains or make somebody else do it. But they make costumes too.
Yeah, I know. While I was reading Captain Kung Fu's.
Oh, cluttering up the.
Oh,
it's not clutter. It's tactical business expense.
D-Nick, I watched the first episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I would have to put it at, I would say, a 9. I mean, 10, I have a hard time giving something for a perfect score because it did have a little bit more room for improvement as far as, I don't want to spoil it because the fellow nerdster in the room did not do his homework.
I was watching the Snyder Cut. I was still basking in the glow of DC-dom.
You watched the Snyder Cut Sunday night.
That's because it's 1,000 hours long.
He watched it in one sitting Sunday night.
Ooh,
Yes.
So you had Friday, Saturday.
Well, no, Friday
morning.
night I work. Friday night I work late. Like I'm home by about 11 or so at night from working. So I had Saturday to recover. Sunday I watched the Snyder Cut. And then Monday and tonight I kind of goofed off. But with everything going on around the house. But I'm sure I'm going to get my... As a matter of fact, when we're done tonight, I will put it on and I will watch it tonight. So... Because
Can we call you a nerd? Can we call you a nerd if you didn't watch it? Yes, because we are what you call old nerds, and old nerds don't always have the time to watch everything. Especially in the age we live in. Oh my God, there's so much to watch.
There's a lot. I've been watching from the TOS and Forbidden Planet and
We're busy
The
reading.
Day the Earth Stood Still, and I have 3 teenagers in the house.
That's what I was saying. We're busy raising our nerdlings.
Yeah,
We
my
need a
little-
new generation of nerds.
Geeklings. I call them geeklings.
Geeklings,
My little
nerds.
geeklings.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, you got books, you've got comic books. Like one of a show I've been wanting to watch that I just haven't had the time to watch is that new Tudyak's new show on Sci-Fi where he's the alien doctor.
Oh, I'm not sure. Like, yeah, I started reading this again. I started reading Dracula again, as a matter of fact. So, I mean, there's just, whenever I get a minute, it's there's always something to be doing. I know. And I kind of put Marvel off a little bit sometimes because I always lean towards DC more. But after WandaVision, I got into it really good. So I'm going to watch it. I will watch it. The kids will be in virtual.
Resident Alien on Sci-Fi.
Oh, okay.
I used to watch that, and I just haven't had the time.
Yeah, I mean, Captain Kung Fu. I know Marvel is good. I do like Marvel, but I always leaned more towards Batman, Superman, DC, and things like that. But I was always a Spider-Man geek growing up. The original cartoon, and then in the 70s when they tried the live-action cartoon or the live-action show of Spider-Man and the Hulk, and when they tried to do Thor and Captain America back then, and I think failed miserably. But Captain America's helmet was the red, white, and blue motorcycle helmet.
Captain Kung Fu asked,
It may have failed, but they made 2 of them.
My favorite X-Men is always Professor X.
Mine is Beast. I'm sorry. Xavier could never be my favorite X-Men. He's too much of a pompous butthole.
Well, and Wolverine. I always liked Wolverine too, but
I love Wolverine, but Beast was always my favorite because Beast, basically out of all the X-Men, Beast was dealt the worst hand.
yeah,
And he made the best of it. He was the brain. Like, you know, he had the smarts. He had the center. Like, Beast was just he was awesome. And he was dealt the worst hand. Like, the other X-Men could go out incognito and be just fine. What's he gonna do? You know? Put on a collar and let one of them walk him around like he's their dog or something? I don't know.
yeah.
But he made the best of the situation, and he was, you know, and no matter what, he stuck with his morals. He stuck with his values.
Yeah.
You know, if he got caught doing something, there wasn't the whole, you know, ooh, let's just break out and go, or let's go on a rampage. No, it was, I've got faith in the system, and I've got faith that my intelligence will get me through.
Yeah,
Beast was just he was always my favorite.
yeah. He seemed very well rounded. I liked in the movies too when they had Kelsey Grammer playing him.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. My favorite DC was always a toss-up. It was always Batman, but I like Batman and Superman the most. I'm
Favorite
tossed
Avenger
between the two of them. Say
would
what?
be Hulk. Favorite DC is Batman.
Yeah,
My favorite Avenger would be Hulk. He's just always been one of my favorite. I mean,
like
I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, but I just,
I like Spider-Man.
you know, grew up watching The Incredible Hulk, you know, and I loved the comics. I loved the movie Hulk, the Ang Lee movie that everyone hates on. I loved that movie. You know, it felt like a merger to it. Go ahead, say it. Say you hated it. I get it. I get a lot of hate for that.
I was a huge Hulk fan in the 70s when it was Lou Ferrigno growing up. And then I met Lou Ferrigno at a convention, and he just completely ruined my childhood completely. I don't know if he was having a bad day.
Having a bad day too.
Yeah.
No.
That's why I don't get too much into it, but he was just kind of an ass. I was trying to talk to the guy before the convention opened, tell him how much I enjoyed him growing up, and he just looked at me. He's like, "You gonna buy an autograph or what?" I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, he's like that normally.
guess
People
not."
have said
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's like that normally.
Apparently, my son said he gets there's a lot of stuff like that, reviews like that from other fans saying they have bad times with him. But I figure I give everybody the benefit of the doubt because everybody has a bad day. I know, I'm sure my patients over the years have caught me on some bad days too, but it's it is.
Captain, I was never really a Flash fan. I always saw the Flash as someone who could just run really fast and get hit.
The new show, I like the new show, but I was
crap knocked out of them.
I was never a huge Flash fan. I like the new show that they did now, the way they redid it pretty well, but yeah, I was never a Flash fan growing up.
ooh, Crash Day is a good question.
But
Who is a villain or hero in comic books that has not been brought to the big screen yet that you wish they would?
I was gonna say Doctor Doom, but he's already.
well, yeah, Doctor Doom's already been shown.
Yeah. Doom's been shown.
Yeah, but
3
does anybody
films
count the
already.
Fantastic Four movies anymore?
Yeah.
Say what?
Does anybody count the real Fantastic Four movies anymore?
Ooh, sarcastic from my nerdling. He said, "Does anybody really count those Fantastic Four movies?" But
Let's see.
they have Dark Side, sort of.
You can't say Dark Side. He's been brought to the big screen.
He's just on the big screen.
That would be a good one, though, if he was in this different form. Robbie just came up with a good one.
Well,
I said Robin, but he was in
Like
the
Nightwing
2
or something.
later Batman movies, the Joel Schumacher one. So that one.
Yeah, you can't say Robin or Nightwing's an extension of Robin.
Starfire's on TV. But
Yeah, but
he said villain, a villain.
Well, she said villain or hero.
Oh, villain or hero.
Anyone.
Galactus doesn't work, Captain. Galactus was in Fantastic Four too, right?
Fantastic Four, yeah. Oh my God, who is?
I mean, we got Kang the Conqueror coming.
Yeah,
He's Ant-Man.
yeah, he's coming. We got they've done the hell out of all the Batman and Spider-Man ones. All the good ones, anyway.
The Court of Owls.
The Court of Owls.
I
Robbie
want
said
the
the Court of Owls. He wants to see the Court of Owls.
Because that's who the villains are in the new upcoming Bat Family game.
So, how about something from the Watchmen?
There already is a Watchman movie.
Yeah, I knew there was a movie.
Is your thing paused?
There's a delay.
Phoenix is a nihilist.
Now I'm even.
Yeah, there's
trying
not.
to
I can't really
too.
think of too many that they did. They've pretty much hit the major villains that we liked.
Well, it could be Heroes too, but I
And
mean, they
Heroes.
made a Lady Death movie.
I want the Teen
Like,
Titans.
They made a Lady Death cartoon, and I want to see. I'd like to see a live action Lady Death movie.
Oh wait, hero, villain, whatever, big screen, Lobo. That's who we need.
There you go, Lobo's good. Yeah.
We need Lobo. That is a necessity.
That
Big
was a good question. That was a really good question, Craig.
Big
what's
screen.
everyone in
We
chat
need Red Hood.
gonna say?
Yeah,
Sorry, we need the Red Hood. All right, there's another one.
the Red Hood's good.
Batman. We need the Red Hood. You know they've already done Freeze, but I'm sorry, we need a different Freeze.
You're out of I'd
Can
like
we-
to have a Damian Wayne in there too. Put a little Damian Wayne in there. Have him just to offset a little bit.
Speaking of, if they ever did a Batman Beyond movie, like the fact that Freeze is in Batman Beyond makes me go, yes, please do a Batman Beyond movie. And darn it, you guys need to cast Christopher Lloyd as Freeze. Come on, I need it. I need a Christopher Lloyd Victor Freeze. Oh, so bad.
You're a little out of focus there.
Michael J. Fox says Terry McGinnis.
There you go.
I've got
Oh
my
my
focus.
God, my son with his little nerdling sense of humor. Christopher Lloyd is Mr. Freeze, and who did you say?
Michael J. Fox says Terry McGinnis.
And Michael J. Fox is Terry McGinnis.
No.
No, come on.
it's the
No.
It's
Sorry.
good though. That's a good little. That's a kind of cool
It's
joke.
good. It's a good little, but
Yeah.
I just Lloyd, I'm sorry. That is
Hey, he was in two different franchises and had two different time machines. Back to the Future and Star Trek 3.
Yep.
Hey guys, let's see how many fandoms we can name. I need a list of fandoms.
Oh, there are so many fandoms you can't even imagine.
Beyond just comic books and movies. I mean, there's Harry Potter. I mean, like,
There's
I just
books,
want a huge
movies,
list.
anything. Anything can technically be a fandom that more than two people talk about it.
Yeah, sports can even be a fandom. I
A
mean,
list of fandoms.
Christ, you can have Edgar Allan Poe can be a fandom because enough people gather for his work.
mhm.
The Witcher, Anna loves The Witcher. She's dying for season 2.
A fandom is just a topic or a person that has a fan following. Like, you got people like Snyder has a fandom.
Yeah.
Burton has a fandom. My Little Pony has a fandom. Pops have a fandom.
Mandy Moore,
Football has a fandom.
Yeah,
Hannah Lynn.
even their diamond paintings. Their Mandy Manzano.
Yeah.
She's a fandom.
Yeah,
I
Her work.
I
like,
have
there's-
assistants or fandoms, but that's getting a little touchy of a subject.
Yeah, we don't.
Crashly has a fandom.
Yeah.
Yeah, Crashly has a fandom.
Woohoo, Crashly! Yay! Crashly fans.
But Crashly goes, The Witcher is so dang hot. What do you, is that why you actually agreed to watch Snyder Cut with me? You wanted to Google AI Superman? That's what it was?
Oh, did you go on? Did you talk about the game where we said every time Jason Momoa takes his shirt off, you take a shot?
No.
We were tanked up halfway through that movie. That's this way. And we
That
noticed
was
they had.
one thing I will say about the Snyder Cut I was not a fan of was the... Remember I said I hope he didn't take his extended cut ideas from
Oh my god.
Peter Jackson?
Are you telling me that The Witcher is Superman in that movie we just watched?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, and he's also
Henry Cavill. Yeah,
Warcraft player. Like
No.
Cavill's a huge nerd.
Oh my. That's no. It's. Are you serious?
Yes.
We have to rewatch it now.
Uh,
Really?
What?
Another good question. What is the Iron Man suit seen in the comic books that is not on the big series that you want to see on the big screen? What Iron Man suit that is in the comic books
Yeah.
that you would like to see put on the screen?
I didn't really read a whole lot of Iron Man comic books growing up. I wasn't an Iron Man fan growing up.
I couldn't tell you his suits either. I wasn't a huge Iron Man fan. I
They
mean, I
had
read
the
some of the books.
Hulkbuster and they had all the other ones. I was never.
The ones that I've seen on screen are the ones that were iconic to me.
Yeah.
I do wish at some point we could have gotten Wheelchair Stark. I wish at some point when in the MCU when Tony was alive that we would have gotten at least half of a movie or something where he was in a wheelchair.
Why was he in a wheelchair in the comics?
Because there was a point where he was crippled in the comics.
Temporarily crippled.
Just like Batman.
I mean, it was a huge thing. Like the one thing that Marvel had always tried to do with their heroes was make them relatable to people.
Yeah.
Daredevil is blind because there are blind people out there. Why can't they have a superhero?
Right.
You know, Spider-Man was a teenager with teenage angst and dealing with everyday issues because why can't they be superheroes?
Technically, in the Marvel universe,
And that was one thing.
Why
That they
can't I
tried to
be a
do. That's one of
superhero?
the reasons that Xavier was in a wheelchair.
When did you find that out?
I don't know. It was just
Like,
a fun fact I saw.
diversity.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not diversity in we need to be diverse. No, it was, I know there's people out there like this at that age, and I want them to feel powerful. I want them to feel like they can be these characters. That's another reason why a lot of them will chose for them to wear
Then
full
where's all the
face
fat
cover.
superheroes? Where's all the fatties? You know, that would make me feel like I could be a superhero because I'm fat.
The Blob.
He's a lesser known Marvel villain. But
Yeah, well, my son just informed me the same ooze and chemical that made Matt Murdock blind, that's the same ooze that turned the Ninja Turtles into who they are. A little fun fact, apparently.
Two different comic worlds.
the Ninja Turtles have crossed over with everybody.
The Ninja
Batman,
Turtles
the
have crossed
Ghostbusters,
over with
Power Rangers.
everybody.
Yeah, they're crossed over with everybody, but that's
That's what they're in the Marvel stuff. That's what they're doing with it. Because isn't
Marvel's not doing the Turtles.
I thought they were doing the Turtles now. I thought they were doing it now.
No, who's doing the new Ninja Turtle comics?
Because I know it's not DC.
No, it's still.
I thought they were officially going over to Marvel. Because one of the crossovers, that's what they did with the ooze became the ooze.
I think it's going to be confusing a little bit too with Stan Lee just passing. Who's going to be acquiring what? You know, I know there were some deals for Spider-Man and things like that were
IDW.
What?
IDW is the one doing Turtles now.
IDW is doing Turtles now. Yeah, they probably did it in a crossover with them.
They've done crossovers. Even Marvel and DC have done a crossover. But
Oh yeah, I've seen those. I have those.
crossovers are just for fun. It's a lot like how Stan Lee and a lot of people at Marvel did the Hulk versus Wolverine books. You know, and
Yeah,
they're not really. You know, they could be canon because it's its own little universe, but they're not main universe canon. They're just little funny ones, you know, just little things to do.
that's probably what they did in a crossover.
Favorite Iron Man model, the one they want to see is the Model 68, the virtual armor.
I didn't see that one.
See, if you asked me what Spider-Man arm, you know, what spider suit I wanted to see enter the MCU, I'd like to see the silver suit he wore in Amazing Spider-Man issue or Web of Spider-Man issue 100. That was a pretty cool suit. But
Well, I want to see.
silver and it looked cool to me.
I'd like to see Azrael's Batman armor.
Oh, I just want
Even if just for a minute, just to see it.
So many people hated on Azrael, and I loved
That armor was still good.
that take. I loved them taking Batman and going, yes, Batman can carry on, but not everyone's going to be a good Batman.
Right.
And Azrael was a horrible Batman.
Yes, he was. But the suit was wild.
But the writers didn't try to pawn it off as being a good Batman that was horrible. No, they're like, he's a horrible Batman.
Yeah.
And you're going to know he's a horrible Batman. You're going to know he's a horrible person. And you're going to see Bruce Wayne come back and beat the holy living crap out of him, bare-fisted, Azrael all decked out in his super suit, and Bruce Wayne just being like, man, nope, not going to happen.
When I first saw that comic book, I had the foil cover. My buddy's comic book store, he had the foil cover sitting right out in front with the Azrael Batman. I was like, oh, look at that.
I'm telling you, man, Night Quest was...
Yeah.
Night Quest and Nightfall. And the comic, see the covers. I love the covers of those. Like you had the one where Bane defeated, when Bane defeats Batman, the cover, it's got Bane with Batman's back,
Yeah.
That comic was just, I remember reading it and just, they're on top of the roof and Bane just picks them up and then throws them off the roof. And I'm just like, what? Like, it's Batman. Like, what?
Yeah.
There's
one to Schumacher.
Get him in and go.
Schumacher. Bane is not a monosyllabic sidekick.
But then the way they did the covers, and then later on when Batman comes back in Night's End.
Yep.
And they got the same cover, but it's Batman
breaking up Bane. Yeah.
Breaking Bane. Well, no, it wasn't. It was Azrael's Batman doing it. So I guess it was Night's Quest or something. Had Azrael's Batman breaking Bane's back over. I'm just like, man, this is like I would see those books in the store, and I'm just like, I gotta have it.
Mm-hmm.
I had a question in my head. Like I'll give an answer for this. If you could pick two superheroes, villains, characters from any franchise, comic book, whatever, for a mashup, who would it be? Like, who popped in my mind would be like Constantine and Lucifer.
They did that
Would
on
be
ECW.
cool. I know they did that already.
What you mean, like for a book together,
or a movie, a show, anything? Like, if you could have any two characters,
Does it have to be two characters or two groups?
Whatever.
Two characters. I got what you're saying, Val. And I'm gonna go dark with this one, and I'm gonna go messed up. But I think it would make for an amazing, if you get the right writer for it and the right director and the right casting, it would make for an amazing film. And it would be some sort of team up situation. Joker and Clown from Spawn.
Oh.
Could you imagine? Like, I'm sorry. If somebody were to say, what is your favorite comic of all time? Spawn. I love Spawn. And so many people are going to hate me for this one, but I'm sorry. Clown is, as far as sadistic level goes, outgoes the Joker any day of the week. And I mean, I could just imagine a scene in that movie where he's doing something and even the Joker looks at him like,
who's scarier though? Pennywise? Tim Curry's Pennywise or Joker?
Joker. Tim Curry's Pennywise.
Pennywise is, I think Pennywise. Tim Curry's Pennywise, I think, would beat the Joker.
Captain Kung Fu, if I were going to make a superhero movie, what genre would it be? It would just depend on the hero. And that's what it boils down to, is it's getting the right, a good superhero movie would honestly be a dramatic action film, an action drama. But it's hard to find that particular pacing with an action drama.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I mean, most of them would be action dramas. But at the same time, again, if you're going to, like Guardians of the Galaxy, that film would not work any other way than a comedy.
Yeah.
It wouldn't, if you're making Batman, I'm sorry, as much as we all love 66 Batman, that one wouldn't work in the style of Guardians. Like if somebody were I'm going to make a Batman movie like Guardians of the Galaxy is, it would bomb. It would flop. So it all depends on what you're making it on. I loved Joker. The standalone movie Joker. Loved it. But honestly, I feel if you're going to make a Joker movie, you should be making a horror film. Because, that's solely, that would be right there. It'd be one of those situations.
Like a thriller.
Like a horror type thriller.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd like something dark. I'd like to see the Batman versus Dracula comics they did. I'd like to see that done well, if it could be done right. But like a mashup, I'd like to see Spawn and Lady Death doing something.
Ooh,
There's a bunch of weird.
be good.
Both from hell, with the hell thing.
That'd be good. It'd be good.
Did you just say you love the Joker movie
Yeah.
with Joaquin Phoenix?
Yes.
Oh my god, I thought it was so stupid.
The movie was awesome.
It wasn't like the Joker at all. It was stupid, in my opinion.
You didn't read the comics.
You're an arch.
See, my version of Joker isn't everyone else's version. My version of Joker is that was all a fabrication. That was him sitting down talking to his psychiatrist in Arkham, and right after he found out Batman's true identity and gave a huge fabrication in his head on how he could be the creation of Batman.
If your name was Zack Snyder, you could redo it in your vision.
No, I couldn't. Warner Brothers isn't allowing Zack Snyder to do all that. They just let him do one.
I did not expect an actual answer.
Nukes, I swear.
But no, honestly, if somebody comes and said, Kerwin, here, you're going to get to make a comic book movie. Any movie you want. What are you going to do? Michael Keaton and Christopher Lloyd are going to be the first two people I'm signing on. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, I don't think Christopher Lloyd gets the credit he deserves sometimes.
He doesn't. The dude's a genius.
He's good.
Robbie has some good mashups that they did that are
There was a bunch
totally
of
out
weird
there.
crossovers, like Punisher and Eminem, Punisher and Archie versus the Predator twice.
Oh God, yeah, they did.
Sonic and Spawn.
They're doing all kinds of mashups.
These are
Yeah. My son was telling me they did an Archie versus Archie with Predator mashup twice. So I don't know. You can only do the Predator or the Alien so many times in so many different
Why
ways.
Archie?
I liked
Captain Kung Fu. That Bane was awesome because, yeah, exactly. In Nightfall, Night Quest, he was the ability to break the bat. I mean, he did. He was a genius in his own right in that in the comic, in the mythos. We get these other ones. We get Penguin. I'm sorry, Penguin to me was never a supervillain. He was just a fence that was an annoyance to Batman. Like, I never saw him as a huge threat. Two-Face was a threat because he knew how to pull strings. Black Mask was that mobster style threat. But, the Joker, if I were to put Batman's top 3 villains, I would say the Joker, Bane, and I'd probably put Riddler up there because so many times he was on par with being as sadistic as the Joker was.
Yeah.
What about you, Pizza?
I think the same thing. I was always Joker, Bane, and then the third was always, you had Freeze in there, but it was always a toss-up for me on the third. Like that. But I like the style they did. Did you see that short film, Dead End? The Batman. It's Batman with Alien and Predator in it.
No.
Google that the next time you see. It's called Dead End. It was a 15-minute fan film of Batman, and you see the Joker. He's fighting the Joker, and then the Joker gets like whipped up on top of the building, and you see like like the Xenomorph carting him off, and then the Predator is like Batman's fighting the Predator, and he kills one of them, and then you see a bunch of them coming out. But then behind Batman, you see a whole crap load of Xenomorphs coming behind him. So it's actually a pretty good short film.
I suggest anybody who likes Batman, there is a documentary. I think it's on Netflix. It's called Batman and Bill.
That's Hulu.
It's on Hulu. Okay.
It's on Hulu, yeah.
Yeah, and that is such an amazing thing. How everyone thinks it's Bob Kane who came up with most of Batman. When
No, it was
really
his partner
wasn't.
Bill something.
Bill
Yeah,
Finger.
Bill Finger. And the other documentary to be watched for comic book fans is Professor Marston and his Wonder Women.
Yeah, Wonder Woman was actually brought up from a bondage fantasy the guy had.
Her lasso was actually to do with bondage, and only when you're tied up you can be set free sexually. And this was back in the 40s or 50s. They really get into it, the whole story behind how Wonder Woman is a mashup of this guy who was in a bigamous marriage, basically. And
And welcome to your Saturday morning kids cartoons, huh?
exactly.
Yeah.
They
See, Captain Kung Fu, I almost said Ra's al Ghul in that, but my problem is I don't see Ra's al Ghul as a villain. I see Ra's al Ghul as an anti-hero who is off track. Like, and Bruce brings him on track numerous times. And I love the relationship that him and Bruce have throughout
The whole thing with Ra's al Ghul is, like, to go nerd speak, he's a true neutral character. He's
not true neutral. I mean, he tries to destroy the world numerous times, but he's not trying to, and that's why I look at him more as the anti-hero, because he's not wanting to see the world burn just to watch it burn. He sees what he sees as a villain, whether it be terror or poverty or whatever, and he tries to fight that in his own way. You know, not caring about the casualties like an anti-hero does. You got like Deadpool and Deathstroke was for a while. I mean, he's a good villain, but at the same time, he did his anti-hero situation. Punisher's an anti-hero. He's not a full superhero. They don't truly care about casualties. They don't care about collateral damage. They have a one-track sight on what they see as the villain, and they go after it. And that's why I have a hard time putting Ra's al Ghul as your villain, because I have yet seen something where he is trying to be a villain. Like, Penguin tries to be a villain. He wants to be the mob boss. Joker wants to watch the world just go crazy. Riddler just wants to toy with people. Your villains, your comic book villains, usually, and that's the hard part with the MCU, having Thanos as a villain, is because in the MCU, Thanos really isn't a villain at that point. He's not trying something for his own personal gain like in the comics. He was trying to do it to impress Death. So in the comics, it's more of a villain, or he is a villain because he's doing it for himself. He's doing it to get what he wants. Where in the MCU, it's making him more of an anti-hero, going, he sees this event or he sees this situation as a villain, and he's going at it without caring about collateral damage. And you could even go further, saying he does care somewhat about collateral damage to the point where he doesn't want to be the one to decide. That's why he's wanting to use the Infinity Stones, so it's more fair on who gets to live and who gets to die. And that's how I see Ra's al Ghul. I mean, one thing that comes to mind is when Ra's set into motion the the Robin story with Joker.
Jason Todd.
When he set those events into motion, when it came down to it, after the Joker brutally murders Robin right there, and they turn around and, for the Red Hood situation, in the late 80s, we got Jason Todd murdered. And I say we got him murdered because we got him murdered. DC asked us what we wanted. We said murder him. We don't want him anymore. We don't like Jason Todd. He's a dick. But then, a decade later, we get to go, they have their out. They utilize Ra's al Ghul going, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
I don't want people to die needlessly. I'm not that kind of person. So then he grabs Jason's body, takes him to the pit, and brings him back. Now, of course, he comes back insane.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens. But, and he was always there he always helped Batman. He always left his little notes, his little tapes, he tried to mentor him as well. I always have a hard time trying to say someone's a villain when they're actually an anti-hero.
My whole thing with Ra's al Ghul is just the way they portrayed him in the movie, in the Christian Bale Nolan universe Batman. He never, like you and I talked about it before, we had the same problem. He was never, detective. He never
said detective.
Yeah, he never said that. He never really talked to him that way. I mean, it wasn't like it's like they were complete adversaries and that was it in those movies. He wasn't really who he was.
Anna just had a cool idea. Could you imagine reimagining superheroes as like grim characters? Like the fairy tales?
I think they did that in Elseworlds.
Did they do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
The superheroes as the grim fairy tales. Yeah, that was done in Elseworlds.
Yeah, they've done so many mashup. What was it? Alchemic? What was that run? It was where they mixed them together, like they mixed Batman and Wolverine, and
the amalgamation comic books.
Amalgamation, yeah. Those were cool. I liked those. Those were neat. Where they actually legitimately mashed up the characters.
Yeah.
Together.
Mashed up.
All right. See you, Captain. Have a good night.
Yeah. Actually, we've been on for a little over 2 hours now.
Yeah, we'll probably.
Yeah, it's after midnight here. Like normal, we could go on forever, but
yeah,
I don't want to start blowing people's minds out and people tapping out on us.
Yeah.
Plenty more to come.
Yes, and I'm sorry, guys. In the title, we talked about Falcon Winter Soldier, but I don't want to ruin it. I got so much I want to say about it, so we'll make it up to you.
Yeah, we'll have more chop busting of the partner here in a few.
We were able to talk about Snyder cut some, and
yeah.
So,
and as usual, we go off on our nerd topics, so that's good.
Oh yeah, it's always,
and we love the crowd participation a lot. We really like it.
Oh yeah. So, all right, guys.
All righty.
Geeking out. Live long and prosper. This is the way. Nerdsters out. Have fun.
See you later.